Hello, everyone. This is Don, Kingdom 362, RogersRaiders.com. Down in the bottom right hand corner is our subscribe button. And what we are going to do today is talk about an R4 and above talent, and specifically the Strategy Center. Okay, the Strategy Center is confusing to everyone. Now, it's confusing to people who played the game for a long time because there doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason to the gunpowder limit update button sometimes. And there is rhyme or reason to it, and it has to do with caching on the servers. And because every player donates gunpowder, but this is like, well, the bar's always full. All right, well, the bar is always full because it goes down at 4 per hour. And I would imagine that it's really 100 over 24 hours. But when you watch it for a long period of time, it's about 4 per hour, and then there's probably a little blip at the end. We're not watching the paint dry that long. So, the confusing part of the Strategy Center. When can you use your talents? When should you use your talents? And when do I need to not use my talents in the Strategy Center? All right. So I'm going to try and go over this stuff a little one by one and do scenarios. This is not going to be graphically wonderful, I'm sorry to say, but we'll do our best. Okay. So if you're going to be a KVK alliance, you need to have your knowledge maxed out, because you're going to want your tools at your disposal. Problem winds up being it's not a one alliance shot. And if you've watched some of my other videos talking about the way kingdoms are treating little alliances, this is where they fail. Because you're going to be begging people for poison water and doom cannons at some point. And you're going to go, oh yeah, I killed all those guys. You know what? I got some free RSS when I was 25, though. It was wonderful. Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. But yeah, this is one of the reasons you don't want those little guys gone. They still contribute. They still donate. And on KVK Day, they may not have a castle big enough, but they got a strategy center and a button to push. And they can do a lot of damage. Specifically, if you've got... if you've got at least 10, 12 alliances and or alliance farms that have got poison water, you can hurt a kingdom. Okay, but let's start at the beginning down here. First, you got your development ones. All right, this is the ones a lot of people get for, and that reduces your cost of medical supplies. 50% on the healing speed. All right, these stack. So if you're running a kingdom buff, and what we like to do when we have when the throne's running, is we will run it at least 2 hours before UAC. And that will give everybody the day that's in UAC that day reduced healing cost all day long. Plus, we'll stack our alliance one. That's why ours is on cooldown, because we just had a UAC. And this is something else. If you're the one hosting KVK, you have to deploy this strategy before KVK starts. You have to deploy this strategy before UAC starts. They're on opposite weekends. If you don't deploy them before, then you're going to be waiting for this. So your cost to repair and get troops back in the fight. The first 2 hours of both UAC and KVK is the highest loss of troops. That's when people go gold crazy. They got all their gold collected up, and they just go nuts. I mean, they're just relentless. Oh, I had a blast. I mean, it's a drug-infused fest. So you need to understand about this medical supply strategy and coupling it with the KVK ones, the King's ones, is you want to deploy them before you lose your throne. And you want to deploy this, and for the UAC, you want to make sure that timer's ready. You don't have to deploy this one before the KVK, but it's best to, or you kind of screw yourself on UAC weekend. You know what I mean? So it's just a good habit that 1 hour before you pop this thing and you get 11 hours of UAC and 11 hours of KVK for reduced cost. And like I said, they stack. Make sure people are swapping their heel set, their heel gears. Okay. Now, Rapid Researcher. This is a strategy points burn. I'm sorry to say it doesn't, unless you know somebody, unless you know your entire alliance has saved up gobs and gobs and gobs of research. As an alliance, it hurts to burn that much strategy points for this. It's not that it's not beneficial, and if you got somebody that is just hit C30 or just hit Combat 2 or something, C30, and they're doing a Combat 2 and says, man, I got 4,000 hours of speed ups, the Alliance may agree to burn the research buff for him so that his 4,000 hours turns into 5,500 hours worth of speed up time. It helps that one or two guys are doing that in conjunction, okay? You stack that with your temporary wonders and your trade gear set, which has the reduction in research time on both the hat and the boots, and like I said, the little library book temporary wonder, and that's really, you're burning that for personal use. That's not really an alliance burn. And like I said, it takes 3 days to get that gunpowder back if your alliance has that gunpowder to donate. So typically, avoid using that. Okay, everybody's going to burn gold trying or resources trying to heal. That's why the heal one is alliance. Okay, so that's a good one to know why you're doing that. Building booster, same way. If you got somebody, now where we'll deploy this one is I've got a farm network set up, and like during KVK, I will get somebody who does an outstanding job in their 26, 27, busted their butt, and I'll watch them for like 2 KVKs so that it's not a one-shot wonder. And when they do that, I'll just call out their name, say, go park here, and I'll turn them into a C30 in the next 4 hours. You know, as long as they got the speed ups for it. That is my one big catch to the giveaway, is you don't get to milk me all week freaking long. We're going to do this in 4 hours because it's a lot of work to unlock that much RSS out of the farm network. And it's a lot of RSS to go from 26 to 30, but it only takes us about 4 hours to push a guy to 30. And I develop enough RSS through the little accounts that we can push about 4 a week if we want to. But we're saving up now for our 35 pushes, which are insanely more RSS if you do that stuff, you know. So that's when I would suggest using the building one. Okay? And Nimble Harvester. Okay. Quite frankly, I'm going to deploy it because I got the Kingdom buff right now. This week I'm not hosting KVK. So we're just going to burn some gunpowder. We're really good about filling that thing back up, so I'm not worried. Your R4s, your R5s need to pay attention to how fast you're filling it up. If you guys look in there every day and it's barely moving the bar over, now we just had a UAC, so we burned through our stuff. Because we're not going to put it back. My guys open their packages. I've got an active alliance, and activity is everything. And if you guys are wondering where we're getting the gunpowder from, well, the Red Guard raid. But it's more than the Red Guard raid. The people need to actually open their mail and open the loot. And you would not believe how many people won't do that. So you don't get that gunpowder until they both open the mail, open the loot. That'll give you your alliance funds. That gives them their alliance loot. But more importantly, they now have to string it out loading this gunpowder, right? Because once it hits 100, it hits 100. Nothing you can do about that. I believe this system's antiquated, but I'm just explaining the system for what it is and what we've got there for possibility. So, now we get for defensive strategies. Disruption. Well, let's say I'm throwing a poison water on you, and you go click disruption. You just burned 750 gunpowder to stop 1 hour. If I see you disrupt it, you can't burn disruption no more. And I throw poison water on you from another alliance. So you see how that can wind up being a waste of 750. So if you're using the disruption talent, then the guy in charge of the strategy better know something's going on. A mega rally is about to hit. Something's going to happen, and it's going to hurt. If this one doesn't land, we're all going to die. Okay? The game's over. And quite frankly, I will be honest with you because I'm very good at KVK strategy. If you're in that situation, you should have never been in that situation. You should have known that the tide was turning and that there was no way to, to put it in a chess analogy, you have to be thinking 5 to 7 moves ahead. And I know that's a really hard process of strategy for people to get a hold of. But you got to know what you're going to do, then they're going to do to what you're going to do, and how they're going to react to that. And it's just a matter of knowing the 50,000 paths of possibilities out there. And it's not something just anybody can do. But if you get one of those gurus that can do that in your kingdom, hold on to them, treat them right. You'll spot them. They'll tell you, hey, South Tower is going to be the next one hit. All of a sudden, 15 minutes later, somebody jumps in and hits the South Tower. And like, how'd you know that? Just be happy that he knows it, okay? It's a matter of looking what's there, what's how, and how it would happen. Doesn't mean he's going to be right every time because sometimes people do random crap. But the trick is most people look for the weakest point. And if you can't evaluate what your weakest point is, and your enemy can, you're going to get picked apart. So, alliance shielding. And a lot of people pop this during KE. It's only 4 hours. It's a lot of points. Frankly, guys, this is one of these things where we don't pop ours anymore. The R4, I brought R4s in from other alliances, and they got used to where they would pop that when they see something happen. It's like, oh, they're attacking us during KE. Well, you can't burn what's not there. And we've been playing this a long time. There's no troops there. There's nothing to burn. If you get more than 30, 40,000 T1s off me, burning me randomly in the middle of the week, kudos. You did something. I hide troops in my sanctuary. I can pull back an entire 3 marches out of my sanctuary at any time that I need to. And this is one of the things I try to explain to some of the newer kingdoms. And I don't even think I put out one video on sanctuary hiding, but probably got overlooked or overlapped, or the crowd out there is like, well, you don't know anything, so I'm not going to look at anything. That crowd. But anyway, alliance shielding, I would caution against it. It's a very costly 3 days. And basically, if you're a small alliance, you're better off just saving the gunpowder for something else. To make sure that you have the cheaper heal. Now, let me go back to that heal buff. Look, guys. That has to be deployed before your alliance clicks heal. In other words, your alliance needs to be trained, and I'm going to use that word again, trained to know don't click heal the second the red light comes on. that you're going to deploy the heal strategy at 5 o'clock at the end of KE. All right. You need to be in charge of a schedule. This is time management. Every single thing in here has a timer on it. All right. I don't understand why it has a timer and a load on the timer and a cooldown on the load. It's triple loaded. That's why I believe it's antiquated. If you're going to put timers on them, that's more than enough. Eliminate the gunpowder portion from the RGR raid and just say it fills up to 2,000. And make the research more expensive. I don't care. Whatever you want to do to balance it off. But this method of having to fight your own alliance to donate gunpowder, and then if everybody's on the same 2 days, well, then you're screwed because you're going to lose 4 days of load time. So it's just poorly thought out with international alliances. It really is. That's the best way to put it. Or I'm sorry, international alliances, the ones that have 24 hours a day and 7 days a week players, well, they can load their gunpowder. They're the ones that kind of suffer. It's the ones that play in the same time zones, and they suffer the most. They overlap their ability to load. So, alliance shielding, I caution against it. It's there. You better know why you need it. Usually, if you're running a bank account, an account that's specifically designed to store food, that's one of the reasons someone will deploy that if someone forgot to put a bubble on it before KE started. And then you're just praying to God that that person can get reached to put a real bubble on it before KE, before that bubble ends. That would be the only time that I would ever know. Now, Nfe Eviction. This one has changed dramatically. Originally, you'd boot them from within your borders. The castle has to be within your borders. It breaks their walls and kicks them out. All right. That does mean when they teleport right back, because they can, that their walls are broken for a period of 2 hours. They will take more hits. But if you're burning this gunpowder and not prepared to throw a mega at the guy right after, odds are you're in trouble. Okay? That's a good one to use in combination with other ones. Okay. Where we'll use enemy eviction, is we have alliances that are aligned along the border of our KVK forest, and we make sure the towers reach about 4 to 5 rows in, and then we will leave spaces behind for our enemies to jump in behind, trying to stay out of the forest. So that if they jump in front of the castles or they jump behind the castles, they're within the borders of a farming alliance, that one of these little tiny alliances everybody wants to kill, that has the ability to evict a big player, and will save it until that great big monster of a player is running a mega rally or something. And then 15 to 20 seconds is what we shoot for, just in case there's an overlap. 15 to 20 seconds before it hits, we'll evict him. Busts up the mega rally. He's no longer in the mega. His stats don't matter, and so his mega rally becomes a normal rally that hits our mega rally, tower or palace, and it dies, because now all your littles that are in that mega rally are exposed. And if you throw a combination poison water on top of that alliance right before that happens, it's not only death, but it is bad death. I mean, you're going to get a full million troops that don't even get to click the heal button. I don't care how much RSS they got in their bag, there's no one left to heal. So that's where we would use uh, strategy centers in conjunction. But since there's an hour cooldown between the use of these, now that's something you need to know. There's an hour you have to deploy one from the other. So you have to have small alliances that are in coordination with each other during these KVKs. So if you guys have watched the videos and stuff where we've had these record invasion kill numbers, even though we're a newer kingdom, these are some of the strategies we deploy. All right, this is how we do it. You may come in here with big bad castles and deep pockets, but I'm glad you spent 20K. But you know what? Bust out another $5,000 because you met us, and then we're going to deploy all kinds of other resistances to keep our guys from dying. There's a reason we can do those back to back. And it requires a lot of little castles and a lot of little alliances working together in order to pull these big fights off. This is where it gets fun in the kills. So these guys that are turning around going, oh, it's fun to kill little castles. Well, that's the same as burning ants. It doesn't show a big, deep sign of intelligence in a strategy game. All right, so that's why we're talking about the strategy center and why we need to make sure a kingdom stays together when all the idiots come from the older kingdom saying, hey, I know what I'm doing. They don't. They left their kingdom because there was a problem. They were picked on. They didn't want to learn. They didn't want to listen. They want attention in any form, and you'll see it in the way they talk. It just, if they use the cries icon a lot, probably dismiss everything they say. Okay, so defense by fire, and you see ours is on cooldown because we use it during UAC. Now, what defense by fire does is when you're holding a tower or any point, it increases our attack. So the response to being attacked, how many troops are getting killed, by 20%. Now, let me explain how to make the best use of this. Okay, so in our UAC buffs drift. So we will always have crap loads of treasure because we're always ahead in UAC. Now that is a statistical disadvantage to us by about 200%. Everybody who attacks us gets a 200 to 300% bonus when they're attacking us. Okay, so our big guys with... So I'm sitting at like 2400s right now. And this is going to give me 20% more. Okay, another 200. But only when I'm attacked. So I can go in with my base 2400s, and while the guy attacking me may have 2000s and be getting 2300s, I will still be rolling somewhere around 2600s on my defensive attack. And I will kill more troops on defense than I could if they took the point and I had to attack them back. Because if I have to attack the point rather than defend it, I lose my stat advantage that I just got from my defensive of fire. I lose that 20%. So it is not there when I attack for my points back, but you've got to beat them in there. So if you're trading blows back to back, like I'm a C-32, and if I'm trading blows with a C-35 and his T-11s, I want to hurt him until he pulls his march to put a good march in there, and then I speed back in there again and make his T-11s hit my buffed up march. See, that's the strategy portion of it. Now I know some of you guys are like, put that on film. I wish you could predict when it's going to happen. I can't film 20 hours a day. When I'm filming, I can't pay attention to what I'm doing, and there's a lot going on. We like the film to be of some quality, so there's a lot to it. Group Vengeance. Now, I am going to be using Group Vengeance for the first time in our next KVK. Hint, hint to whoever fights us. I am literally going to use group vengeance on my farms. And I'm going to leave unbubbled farms out in the forest with group vengeance on. Now what vengeance does is when you're attacked, it prevents them from bubbling and teleporting. So I've got castles I guarantee can kill anybody that gets in the forest. I don't care how big you are. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave bait so they can't run. I'm going to make sure they're stuck. And what this winds up being is each and every one of my open farm castles becomes its own teleport freeze. Is my thinking, is my hope. We haven't actually done this yet. This will be the first time that I'm going to apply the strategy. So you're getting an insight of what a good way to do that would be. You would never use that in a KE unless you are knowing you're about to be attacked by lots of players who just are boneheaded and they're going to do stuff, and you're prepared to deal with the problem that they're bringing to your doorstep. You can't just deploy it to just deploy it unless you're trying to be an asshole. Which that's what they're doing. They just don't like to admit it. They whine, bitch, and piss and moan that you fought back. I've never seen people who are like, well, I attacked you and you ruined my fun. And your point is, it is so much about them that they can't get past that next point of you got what you deserved. So that's a good point to use it there. If you're having problems in KE, group vengeance is a good way to go. It stops them. Yeah, they're stuck on your doorstep, but it ruins their fun. For the next 2 hours, they are stuck where they're at. It's a big old blast. And it tends to leave a warning to the other players in KE because word spreads pretty quickly. Don't touch them or you're done doing KE for the night. See what I mean? So you can ruin a lot of people's fun with that. It's just so you know. Now, teleport freeze. This is one of my favorite strats. I love this strat. All right. Best ways to use teleport freeze is two ways. One, we'll do it to lock a big C40. Somebody like 3,000 stats, we'll lock his butt right there in our kingdom. Why? Because now he can't go back to his kingdom. We can hold you. We can hold our own in our kingdom. So we're going to leave you here. We're going to go back and take your throne, keep you from doing it with any buffs, because they're going to have their level 5 garrison buffs. We'll go break all their towers up, take their throne, and then once we take their throne, our throne is bubbled. It doesn't matter that he's in our kingdom no more. He can't hurt nothing. So, and then our players know if you got this overmatched C40 that's sitting out there, you don't throw your best march at it. You will see us throwing 10K cavalry marches at our towers all day long. I mean, you will see lines going everywhere because you can't be in more place than once. So it's when you have multiple C40s and 3 and 4 that are monsters. At that point, our younger kingdom can't really handle that, and it's just a numbers issue. It's not that we don't want to, but it's too much to wrangle. They can take multiple points really quickly, and they can gold spend and kick you out of your spot. You're at their mercy at that point. It's an overwhelming fight. Know that it's an overwhelming fight. They've earned it. They built their castles. They bought their castles. I don't care what your opinion about buying and spending is. It's their time, their money, their entertainment. They made it. Good job. We're fine with that. It's when you call, 6 3 billion power freaking C40s up against people that are building C30s fair. And that gets into the game has run so many players off in the older kingdoms with the methods that they can't even produce enough taxes to run their thrones. So when you see these big monster C40s that come through there and just blast you out of the water in your younger kingdoms, it's tax season, and that usually happens for 2 to 3 KVKs. It's so that they can run their thrones. They need to be able to. You've got to take a second throne in order to activate certain king's talents. Okay, that would be allocation of resources and something else I can't remember off the top of my head. Anyway, not the point of this video. So there's method to the madness. They're not screwing you over to screw you over, but it sucks when it's your first KVK and a great big C40 comes in there and your leaders are so not in the know they don't know why it's happening or how to tell you not to avoid it. Or if they've done something stupid like, hey, let's throw all our best stat people in there and get all their troops killed because they don't know what's going on. It happens. There's instant rejection of thought. What we've seen is quite frankly, the under 35 crowd doesn't like to be told something, period. Any thought that was not already in their head is someone telling them they're wrong, because they are, but they will not hear it because being wrong makes them feel bad. And you're mean for pointing it out. You're rude for pointing it out. And no one was pointing out. All you had was a difference of opinion that was a fact. So, Doom Cannon. Doom Cannon is a really long deployment. Okay, so you got to understand that you can hit multiple castles at a time with Doom Cannon. So it's really good on alliances. And it's somewhat good on towers. You can avoid it by exiting towers, coming back in. You just got to know what's happening. The problem with Doom Cannon is 2-hour charge time. Okay. The other problem with Doom Cannon is when you have a third-party alliance that is not part of the KVK alliances and they just see a C40 sitting in the kingdom, they often will launch a Doom Cannon at them. All right. Burns a crap loads of gunpowder. Not that we don't appreciate it, but he doesn't have to stay there. He can teleport to the other side of the forest and boom, he's safe. The Doom Cannon is wherever you targeted it. It does not follow the castle. I guess that's what I need to be saying. And it's one of those things where you can put a Doom Cannon on somebody and start the 2-hour timer if you're freezing them and you're going to keep them frozen, which means 3 alliances are needed to pull that maneuver off. All right. It is a maneuver that we do, but I promise you it takes 3 alliances with gunpowder. And remember, these alliances have got to have enough players to run a successful Red Guard raid for gunpowder, or they're of no value to you. So you can't be killing their damn troops off every week and giggling and saying, it's fun. You need these people. You need to stop treating them like crap, and you need to start training them on why you need them. And that's why I'm training you on why you need them. All right. My favorite talent, working on it right now in one of the kingdoms, poison water. Okay. No mercy. 1 to 10% of the wounded troops of every alliance member in the target alliance will be killed outright. Just by applying it, folks. The doesn't include any wounded troops in the hospital. What's more, if that person has poison water on them and all the troops that would have gone to their hospital, they lose that 10% right off the bat. So you're guaranteed to lose 20, 30,000 of your top tier if you got poison water on you. And I mean lose them. No ability to heal them. They're not going over to the sanctuary. That is in addition to whatever your battlefield treatment does not protect. So what you will typically see is on younger alliances, battlefield treatments at sub 30 instead of being in the 60%. So you throw this on there and they're losing 80% of a march. 160,000 troops. Poof. And if you're the attacking guy, you're going to be even higher. So, poison water, how you would deploy that. And this is one of the reasons you want to combine with other. This is where you need multiple alliances, again, for multiple strategy deployments. Right? We had teleport freeze. I'm going to freeze at C40 in my kingdom. I am then going to deploy poison water on that C40 in my kingdom. You cannot deploy poison water in another kingdom. But when you deploy poison water inside your kingdom, it is an alliance-wide strategy, and the KVK alliance that C40 is in now all has poison water. Their towers, their palace, all their castles along the way that might be attacking you or defending you, they are now about to bleed to death. And then working, if you guys haven't seen my article on how to stack 15 players into a rally to reduce your overall losses so that you can maximize all the way down to C22s, effectively bleeding to death great big players. Doesn't mean you're going to win the fight. The point is attrition. You're going to reduce the losses per castle in your kingdom and increase the heaviest losses to the stacked up big castles of the old ways of thinking. Beautiful strategy, works well for us. That's why we have 20-hour KVKs against these monsters. You know, and guys are getting really tired of 20-hour KVKs, but we do know how to perform them. And it's not because it's a kingdom full of coiners. It's just I've gotten 362 kingdoms full of good people who slowly embraced the methods, but once they saw that it reduced their cost and allowed them to grow bigger and bigger and bigger every KVK, it's just the way. Nobody knows how to do it any different anymore. Everybody grows 30, 40 million power every 2 weeks. We've got farmers that hand out hundreds and hundreds of millions in food. They don't want to participate in the towers or any of that other stuff. They come on, they play Farm Bill, they enjoy it. They join for the social aspect. The people who want to just play with their friends and talk and laugh and have fun. And so they will run the catacombs. They'll run the spirit mines. They'll build farms. They'll manage farms. And then say, hey, Bob, I got 200 million food over here. You know, I saw you lost a lot in KVK. Let's get those troops back. You know, and then Bob doesn't have to buy an RSS pack. Bob's only got to buy speed ups to put his troops back. So it's not a cooperation on one day. It's a cooperation over the 2 weeks. We are avidly trying to get rid of even the 1 day KE. We got one alliance in our entire kingdom that wants to deal with the 1 day KE. And we capitulate. It's part of the game. They want the KE. Even though we could outvote them, it is part of the game that they join, that they pay to play. We allow it. Nobody complains when they take off from KVK to go kill the rest of the kingdom. But, well, lots of us complain. Inter-kingdom KEs are going to change that dynamic completely. So, it is what it is right now. And at some point, we're just going to have to say, no. The community is not going to tolerate you deciding that you want to kill people in the kingdom because you're lazy or that you're spiteful. And it's 9 times out of 10 because it's spiteful. And you got to herd these people into one spiteful clan where they all huddle together and call themselves rebels, or they're gonna take down the man, the powers that be, whatever BS comes out of their thought heads there. You know, get them into one hurdle cuddle, and then that way the entire kingdom knows that's where our retards are, and you know and if we need to, we'll just deal with them. Because once they're huddled together, they tend to follow the rules, because it becomes real easy to say, now we're punishing an alliance, and we're going to spend the next 2 weeks making sure you don't have a troop any day of the week. And we've had to do that once, and once it was executed, and everybody saw that we weren't bluffing. We warned for 4 weeks to stop the random rogue hits, and everybody's like, well, they're on. They don't know the times. They don't know the rules. The rules are simple. KE is KE. Nap is nap. No scouts. We do KE on Sunday only, and it is 2 hours after KVK secures. That is to give everybody time to get back to their alliance and set their shields and set their heals up. And I mean, usually people have lost almost everything they've got in a KVK. If you come out of KVK with marches, it wasn't a good KVK. But there's still the guys that want to come over and kill you while you're hurt. And it's not because they need RSS or that you have it out or anything else. And if they're doing that, they're really coming over there trying to steal the RSS that you need to heal while you are fighting for the buff they're enjoying. You know, if you won the throne, or the buff you tried to get for joining the throne. It is just, there is nothing pleasant about the thought process. There is nothing there that says I'm ever going to be cooperative with anything you do, and reason doesn't matter anymore. And you've just got to recognize that as a person, that some people will not follow reason, and herd them over to one area, socially isolate them, deal with them that way when you can. You can't leave them scattered out. You can't have them dropping tags or jumping alliances, because you got these rules where these alliances are in NAP and those alliances aren't. Every kingdom that we've ever seen done that has a slow attritional fail. There is not one successful kingdom that has done that, ever. Ever. If there's one out there that said, hey, plunder your way to the top and we're successful, please contact me. I'd love to see how you did it. And then that guy will contact me and says, we got 5 C40s. We win every KVK. You got 5 players in the kingdom. That's not success. That's 5 guys with a checkbook. Go play with yourselves and enjoy it. But kingdoms are made up of thousands and thousands and thousands of people who don't speak up. And sometimes you got to talk for those that aren't speaking up. All right, last one, Lightning March. I question this one. It was bugged. The bug seems to be fixed. If you've never hit it, I've hit it before, and nobody could log into the game for the hour that it was running. Was one hell of a defensive mechanism when it was bugged in UAC. If we had some great big monster that was in our alliance, as long as you logged on and jumped directly to another kingdom, no one could jump to your kingdom because Lightning March was activated. So it was like a permanent defense shield. That bug is gone. All right. So it does what it says it does. Increases the march speed by 20 to 40% for a period of 60 to 180 minutes, depending on strategy boost. Now, the 20% sounds like a lot. It's not. Okay. And the time that it's giving you is not. I think the broken portion of this is, first of all, the limit. Honestly, if that was a 24-hour deal so we could use it at the start of UAC and save a little gold on speed hits, it would be an awesome strategy. Same thing for KVK. Would be an awesome strategy. It's a gold saver when you get right down to it, but it's not a big gold saver. And the guys that are spending that kind of gold generally don't even look at the gold account. All right, so we will use it once in a while if I or my co-commander is doing is doing a UAC solo defense method. We spread out to a 5-point star pattern for our defense for UAC. We do not cluster our cowards in the center. And we force you to march so that you can't turn around and march to, or if you somehow get a castle in the center of our alliance, you are not going to control all 6 points. Not going to be allowed. It's just, you'll never do it. The point being is you will have to outspend us in gold, and we know how to sit there and dance with you while you're gold dying. I'll make you burn 500,000 gold in an hour. And that's why we do the spread out technology, is the big gold spenders that can spend heavy marches. There are strategies for making them burn up their gold. You burn them up in march speeds, and you burn them up in heals. And there's ways of doing it. And watch some of the other videos, the rally stacking, the formations. I think on one of the last videos, 344, we matched up with him for a second time. And a bunch of the kingdom leaders in 344 are actually in our strategy room because we were trying to help their kingdom get their chaos under control. And because they were a kingdom that's doing their inner fighting and stuff like that. And they were so impressed with the KVK they held against us that when we offered to help them calm down and become a better kingdom, they accepted it. They brought their top 3 alliances in. Each one of the alliances is there. They get to ask questions, things like that. We've got a room where we bring people in there to where you can learn to play better GoG, what it takes to be better as a team. But, and where the disagreement from the guys in the room with me is, I think it's what you brought to the game to begin with. So I think being anonymous just makes your lack of morals shine sometimes. And if you're the guy that happens to have the biggest power number and no morals at the same time, the kingdom is doomed until people with morals stand up. And literally push him into place or push him out of the way. And to be honest, we had to do that in Kingdom 362. Our biggest castle for a long time was a guy that kept telling everybody, this is how you do it. You just spend your way up there. The guy never met C40. He quit. He quit the minute we blew past him. And I told everybody he was going to quit. And it's like, oh, why would he quit after spending all that money? Because it was never about anybody but his ego. And your ego is not your amigo. All right, guys. So there's the strategy center. 4 per hour. All right. You got to get that maxed out in your knowledge, or you're not, you're just not a KVK alliance yet. There's a lot of other strategies in the alliance research that you got to do to be a good KVK host. And it's not membership. Okay, it is membership is one of them. But a quick rundown is membership, troop march speeds, and everything that says damage versus. Everything. Right down to the trap stuff. You want every advantage that you can get in damage. Without that, you're not really going to put the most effective. Damage is the hardest stat to get, so it is the number one focus. My alliance went without any of the community gathering or the storage buffs. We are right now doing the storage protection buffs. Okay, we've been here 6 months. We just started those researches because we did every combat buff to its max so that we could win all our UACs and we think. So while they didn't get protected food storage from KEs, guess what they did get? They got number 1 winner loot from KVK every single time we do KVK, or not every single time. We've lost 3, but they get winners loot every single time in UAC. There we are, number 1. Crown Invasion. There we are, hold the crown. And I'm going to thank again. Kingdom 177 came to our rescue because Kingdom 344, which we matched up with UAC. That's funny. Was it 44? It was. Okay. So we matched the same UAC. We matched the UAC team with we worked with them in cooperation. And if you're in my, I'm not going to show you my room. There's no deal making in there. I come on late because you hear I'm sick, and I come on late, and it's like, oh, we wanted a nap. Never says, well, you got to wait for Muse for that. It's like, I walked on and it says, we're waiting to see if there's a nap. I said, we don't do naps. Kill them. And they fell down to like third or fourth, but because they are in an inter-kingdom war, an in-kingdom war of idiots, and these guys are working hard to put their kingdom right, we did bring them back up. Second and third are good loot. You only lose 2 boxes on that. It's the fact that they got so close within 20,000 points is pretty close to us, because usually we'll be way out of reach. This is a bad weekend. I think all my bigs were busy flying. We got so many people with sick family this weekend. I hate to hear it. But this is the strategy center, guys. It's important that your kingdom has as many functional strategy centers as possible. To make that happen, those strategy centers have got to be manned by R4s that know what they're doing. They know why we're asking of it. They got to be in a room that's not KC. You cannot run a KVK from KC. They've got to know why you're doing it, who you're doing it, and they've got to do two-way communication. By that I mean military-style communication. I speak in a military manner because I am military. But if I say, you don't say, will somebody please throw a doom cannon? Well, unless the guy's gaming tag is named somebody, nobody, anybody doesn't exist. So you need to put your BS aside and understand why we say, Bill, I need you to launch the Doom Cannon. And Bill says, tell me when you want me to launch it. Launch now. That's by communication right there. Both people understand you weren't talking to just any random person, because you, as the leader of your KVK and strategist of your KVK, knows who is going to be available. Or the R5 has turned around and said, okay, guys, any of you guys R4 on there, I want you in this room, and when he asks for something from you, you pay attention on how to do it. And then they need to know how to do certain things. And you know what? Let me do that. Let me go over that. Look, let's show how far we are way down here. So let's go to the palace. All right. We're not on the edge. If I wanted to launch a strategy, I don't even have enough gunpowder to show you a demonstration. I just launched that other one. But if I wanted to launch a strategy out here, I would go to strategy and just click on the square. Okay. Poison water, doom cannons can be launched from anywhere. They got to be within the alliance borders to do eviction. Okay. And of course, they don't have to be within the alliance borders to do group vengeance. They just have to be attacking an alliance member. The alliance member can be anywhere. So like I said, for the group vengeance this next time, I'm going to stick some freaking little bitty my farms. I'm going to go over here and buy some teleport packs from my farming community, and I'm going to plant my farms out here with group vengeance on for the first 4 hours, and I'm going to get some free teleport freezes, and I'm going to poison water them one at a time, and I'm going to save gunpowder and a whole bunch of my alliances. And all those greedy kill monsters are going to get stuck while I beat the crap out of them. Because the guys who jump first to do quick kills tend to be the stronger players. So if you can isolate them early while you take away their entire support network that they left alone in their kingdom. Okay, you see what I'm doing there? I'm trapping them over here where we're strongest, and then I'm going to send my guys over there to kill them where they're weakest. And then when they do get back over there, and they only got 6 or 8 guys that can get anything done, it ain't enough to get anything done. Not unless they got another 150 players that they can kick out of their, another 90 players they can kick out of their alliance to replace the ones they got killed because they did something stupid and greedy early. And you'll hear me say, and it's one of those things where lots of kingdoms are envious of this. I generally have between 150 and 200 people waiting to get into KVK. I got an all-day waiting list, and I don't pick favorites because all I need you to do is follow the Rally March support list that we put down on the website, and you're just as good as anybody else because we're going to run megas. Our team leaders will do the work. Doesn't matter what gear you got on. Doesn't matter what your airship says. Your stats are coming from the mega. Everything except battlefield treatment. So all a C-22 needs is +5 duelist boots, +5 duelist ring. And have battlefield treatment on the defensive tab of his airship. And the attack side of his airship. Max that talent out. Use every single ounce that you can get into that battlefield treatment. If that C-22 has done that, he's got the same stats as the big guy. Because the battlefield treatment doesn't drop. And the duelist boots and the duelist ring have battlefield treatment on it. So that cuts his losses down. We limit those guys to like 75k marches. We don't let them bring 120, 130k. We don't let them bring every troop they got. They're in proper formation, but they're 75k marches. It allows us to stack more marches in there. It spreads the damages out, and it does this rolling damage in the rally number thing. It's a hard math concept that I, never explain in a video. So, all this stuff works in conjunction with each other. So if you get confused by what I'm doing and what I'm saying, you got to jump forward in time, you got to jump backwards in time, and you don't know, okay? You don't know what you don't know. And there's a lot that we don't know, but that's why I got a brain trust room. I will go in there all the stinking time and say, I don't know. What do you guys think? But more importantly, I will dispel conventional wisdom if it's unprovable wisdom. You get pot guys who see the artillery trailing behind in the graphic who will, with all confidence in the world, tell you, well, your artillery comes in last and protects your infantry. No, it does not. The computer rolled a math program. The graphics weren't it. The guy writing the graphics has no clue what the battle math does. None, zero, nada. So you cannot look at the visual and determine what the effect was. So I did a lot of dispelling on that early, and that's one of the reasons my YouTube channel got big is I not only dispelled it, I proved it. I gave out calculators. We run these calculators out there. I gave out calculators that showed what the effects were. And if you got a better calculator, try it. We now got the new Guru. If you've got a KVK alliance that wants to tell people how to build their formations, I have the Guru calculator. And if you think I'm a great big fat idiot and you know how to do it better, you can build your own calculator with the Guru and tell everybody how to build their formations for you. You can use your own calculator. I hope to find better methods without me doing all the testing. If you find something that beats my math, I'd love to hear it. I'm always open for that. I love it. Uh, so, there's a balance to my math. Some math out there is designed for coiners. Where they just gold spin and keep throwing marches at stuff. My math is designed for the guy who can't afford to do that. It's designed to get the maximum number of kills with the least number of wounded for the lowest cost of repair. And sometimes we will kill more of one troop than another troop to get a high effective kill rate, but we'll do it in a manner that it's cheaper to hit the heal button. There's a unique balance to my marches, and that it saves you time and money and gold over time. It really, I effectively did it for myself to cut a 3-week heal time down to a 4-day heal time, because I would lose 90 to 100 million power in a KVK, doing it the way that everybody else thought it should be done. So I'm a tight ass. I don't like to spend money that's unnecessary when all I got to do is change some numbers on the little computer screen, and voila, I'm saving money. So, guys, it's Don Larson over at RogersRaiders.com. Down in the bottom right hand corner is the subscribe button, and following is an end card for playlists on how to do your grow your castles and stuff. I will try to update the things. I'm starting to get the playlist organized, and I'm working on organizing the website. I promise. It is in process. It's a big monster. I appreciate it, and I hope you enjoyed this how to play with your strategy center video. Thank you.